Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Slow Your Roll. I'm Alex.
I'm Cody.
And today we're going to be handling part 2 of Vorran's adventure. If you didn't happen to see last time, please go check out episode 1 just to see where we're at. But here's a mini recap just to get you caught up.
Vorran Velis, called the Weaver of Decay from the Silken Depths, has emerged into the surface world through an old tomb. Venturing into a nearby jungle, Vorran is on a mission to restore balance to places where the natural cycle has been disrupted, viewing death and decay as vital forces for sustaining life. In the jungle, Vorran encountered and defeated a cursed vine, which he then took to study and kind of even reverse engineer to use for his own good deeds later, perhaps. And this encounter with the vine also introduced Vorran to its creator, which seems to be a hidden shamanic creature of some sort, though they've really only met through like magical, metaphorical eye contact and not sure of each other's appearance quite yet necessarily. Vorran then entered a village called Thoraka and went into a tavern right away. As his intro to the village, the tavern is called the Lost Arrow Tavern. Inside, really as soon as you walked in, a short-robed figure brushed roughly past you while trying to leave, and you look back up and the session ended with a large flagon of mead just flying towards your head. And so if you're ready, we're just going to pick it up from right there and see what happens. So
yeah, absolutely.
All right. So basically, you turn and you're like, okay, excuse me, to the person. They leave through the door. You turn your head back, and like right there, like in slow motion, you've got a moment to react. There's just like a flagon flying towards your head. What do you do?
I'm just going to try to like duck,
Okay.
I might try to catch it, but then I'll get all messy, just dodge.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, let's make it simple. Do an agility saving throw, if you would.
Absolutely. My agility is 0, so lucky there. Okay. Straight roll, 11.
11. Okay, you just cleared the DC with 10. I'm just gonna keep it flat with 10. So you just hardly managed to duck, and this flagon just like slams into the door with a loud wood on wood thud, and this flagon just like spills beer everywhere. And you kind of look back to see where this even came from in the first place, and you see a decent little crowd of very grizzled looking, maybe like blue collar workers of sorts. Farmers, looks like maybe some person is like got like ash and soot all over them, and they are just like arguing back and forth violently about some sort of local politics. And you see a lot of other people in the tavern kind of just like standing up and starting to try to make their way out. You hear some of them like, not again, this again, come on. And, some of them seem like they're kind of having their day ruined of sorts.
Oh, man, that's just disappointing. Is anyone getting up that has almost not done, like with their food?
Yeah, I'm sure. Maybe even the nearest table, I'd say that there's a couple that was there, a younger couple. Mm-hmm. Maybe they were on some sort of date or something, and they're both just frustrated, and they kind of quickly get up and are leaving. And there's definitely like a full plate. Oh, let's see here. Wait, there's a full plate. You see, it looks like some sort of like filleted chicken, in like some sort of red wine sauce, maybe something like that. And it looks like both of them had the same meal. So,
man, fancy dicks in here.
Mm-hmm.
This is an awful thing going on. Just scooping the plates together. Wow, man, just entertainment too.
Yep, exactly.
Get myself a free little meal. Hopefully, no barmaids care about that.
Yeah, no one really seems to notice. Everyone's attention is either at the door trying to leave or on the group of people arguing back and forth at the bar. So
if I am gonna chime into the rowdy villagers a little bit, what's going on?
All right,
Let's see. I close enough to even hear them, or should I get closer?
You're definitely close enough. Really, as soon as you walk in the door, and maybe before that, you're able to hear them. So let's see what they're yelling about. Let me consult some oracles and see. All right. They are talking about the mayor of a nearby town who has gone missing. And basically, they're talking about this mayor who is named... it is a female mayor, and her name is Arsula. I should really already be taking some notes. Hold on.
The Fire Lord's daughter, Azula.
Basically, yeah, exactly. Got session notes here somewhere. I want to kind of keep that consistent if I'm able. Rumors of Arsula, a local mayor. You know what? We'll just say she's the mayor of this town. Okay. All right. So yeah. So they're arguing about Arsula, the mayor of Thoraka. That's where we are. Has gone missing, and so some of them are like, they're kind of arguing back and forth where there's like some conspiracy stuff going on where it's like, no, she wasn't, she was taken. She didn't leave on her own. And then the other people are just like, no, I don't know. There's been signs that, she wasn't happy here, this, that, and the other, whatever. And she probably just went AWOL and tried to get out of this and like start a new life somewhere or something like that. So, there's just kind of bickering back and forth about that whole situation.
In real life, we had this conversation in LA.
Yeah.
The mayor was gone for forever.
Oh, geez, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm terrible. I don't know about stuff.
No, you're good.
But yeah, it's basically interesting. I'm not drawing inspiration on that, for the record.
So she's missing.
Yep.
And apparently some people think she wasn't very happy around town.
Right.
Who exactly was saying stuff like that? Who's the guy who's like throwing salt on the mayor's name?
Okay, good idea. So we've got some of the classic patrons of this bar that are arguing back and forth. In fact, okay, so we have a Actard of he's he whatever, you probably wouldn't even know his name yet. He's kind of he's a little bit dressed up in what looks to be maybe even like priest-like uniform type of deal, but it's like very dirty, like he's been working outside in that uniform. And he's got glowing green eyes. He's got just kind of just like some facial hair scruff and a bit of a really small nose ring. And so he's the one that's kind of just like I bet she left on her own. Like she was almost like accusing her of being like a coward. And he's leading the argument for one side, and then the other person leading the other argument is a taller elf. He's got like his shirt is kind of like undone a little bit, and he's just like sweaty as heck. Kind of like chubby, and he's got like this just a bunch of chest hair hanging out, and like really bright green eyes. And he seems to be kind of leading the argument in the other way, which is like, no, she was taken. There's no way she's a coward. Something's going on. So
okay, what exactly are the sides here? Like, are they just arguing about the location of the mayor, and people are like taking sides, whether she left or whether she was kidnapped, or is there like something else going on? Is like this troop's trying to say, hey, we're gonna go find her, and then this troop's gonna be like, we don't need that B word.
So neither of them necessarily are like crapping on the mayor necessarily. Like there's the one side that's like, we think that she left, but even then they're like not necessarily disrespecting her. They're just kind of like, I don't think she was kidnapped. That's a little extreme. And neither side really seem like they're just kind of like pretty drunk, and so they're just yelling. Neither of them are like taking action. They're just whining about their problems, acting like they know more than the other person.
Okay. I guess, as I'm just trying to take in all the information that I can just secondhand, I might have one of the waitresses come over and just like ask them a question or two, or maybe even go up to the bar and see what's going on. See if they've got any like insider info. Okay,
sounds good. All right, I gotta plug in a little bit more notes. I'm gonna be quick about it. Okay, sorry. So you head up to the actual bar, and you kind of like walk almost, because these guys are like right in the middle of the bar, and they're just like yelling back and forth. And there's a few other patrons that are kind of just like I said, almost they're just like chiming in, agreeing with one side or the other here and there. But really, they're just drunkenly arguing. So you kind of like just come up to the side, and the bartender, as you come up, is just like staring at the argument. And he's just like, he's got like short reddish hair and a bit of a limp. He looks like an older gentleman. And he's just kind of watching this argument, just like exhausted. And you hear him just like sigh loudly. And then he actually like sees you kind of like come up to the bar, looks over at you, and he looks kind of shocked because you haven't seen any other drow-looking people at all yet since you've been in the overworld. So, and kind of looks at you, and he's just like, and walks over to you, limps over to you rather, and kind of leans on the bar in front of you, and he's just like, well, hello.
Hi there. a little bit new in town.
Yeah.
How's things going around here? Like pointing over my shoulder.
Yeah.
To the large group.
Yeah, he kind of laughed. He's like, "Oh, don't mind them. They're always at it, They're always just kind of doing their thing. But, you look like you could probably use some sort of a drink, right? I mean, especially now that you got to deal with this."
I am thirsty, and I only had half a drink earlier.
Well, we got to fix that. And before you even order anything, he starts pouring you something. And kind of just shoves it in front of you, and he's like, "Try this. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it a lot."
I'll give it a little sip. Is it just what is it?
It's like the strongest red wine you've ever had. It's incredibly dry. It puckers your whole mouth.
Okay, I'll take a quick sip of this, and then you'll actually see my entire face just
pretty much just shrivels. And he's like, "Yeah, that's some strong stuff, right?"
With one eye open, I'll be like, tasty.
Yeah, he's like, "Well, that one's on me. If you want more, you just let me know." But what are you in town for? I've definitely not seen you here before. Anyway,
well, for the most part, I'm just trying to pass through. I'm on an adventure, believe it or not.
Oh, adventuring type, huh? Very cool. Well,
that's right.
What's the craziest thing you've ever done?
Well, I did take a vine off a tree.
He just kind of looks at you and he's like, wow.
Yup.
Okay.
It's a big tree too.
And then he has, as he's just taking that in, you see him pouring another drink, and he takes a drink of it, and he's like, okay. And he's like, very cool. Well, what's your next adventure then, I guess?
Wherever the wind takes me.
Wow.
And there's a lot of wind back here.
Yeah, that's about right. You look over and they're just as they're arguing, the elf, the tall, chubbier elf, literally just slaps the other guy in the face, and he just looks at him and just slaps him back in the face. And is quiet for a second, and then they just keep arguing back and forth still about more. And that wasn't even that slap sucked. You're weak, and just being dumb. And he's like, well, yeah, they're yelling. The mayor, it's a whole thing. Have you heard of our mayor, Arsula? She's gone missing, and
I've heard a little bit. I feel like I've heard a lot, but not enough. What's going on?
Yeah, it's really mysterious. She. There's rumors that people that know her and are close to her in town, that she just hasn't been herself lately, and so she's been kind of down in the dumps. And yeah, so it's a little strange. So some people think that she might have just left. Maybe she wasn't happy here and she's trying to start a new life somewhere. Other people think that maybe she knew something or something like that, and someone tried to take her. So I don't know. One's a little scarier than the other, that's for sure.
Very interesting. Did anyone check these dumps?
Dumps?
They said she was down in the dumps.
Oh,
let's check the dumps.
Yeah. Wow. It's like a figure of speech. You're really not from here, are you?
No, sir.
Yeah, well, down in the dumps, that means when, don't worry about it. People check the dumps. She wasn't there.
All right, rats. The trail's gone cold again.
Yeah. So now people are just speculating. And of course, if you don't give someone a shred of truth, then they just make up their own. So that's, you got all the fools in town doing exactly that. And kind of just motions towards them.
Oh, where was the last place she was seen? Or maybe do you have anyone who was really close to her who might have seen her go missing or who should have had last contact?
Not really. There's, ironically, there was one time she came in here, and Calypso, he actually, he's a bar hand here. He's from Greenfell, and I guess she was raised in Greenfell too, so they kind of know each other. But recently Arsula came in and talked to Calypso for a while, and I guess they kind of, they hit it off and became friends that day. So she's been back a couple times since then. Maybe talk to Calypso.
Okay.
And he actually kind of points over in the corner, and you see a guy which is it was kind of a skinny gentleman. It's a long pipe that's almost touching the table that he's wiping down right now. And he's just smoking out of this super long pipe. And yeah, so kind of just points over there, and it's yeah, that's Calypso. If you want to talk to him.
Okay. I'll have a couple of words with this man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, did you finish your drink? You want another one?
I need to keep my wits about me if I'm going to figure this out. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
fair enough.
I'll take you up on that real soon.
That sounds good. You have to charge. I'll have to charge you for the next one, though, for the record.
All right.
Okay.
But not if I find the mayor.
All right, that's right. Okay, maybe you're right. Hey, he's just like, all right, well, good luck.
Heading on over to Calypso. I might just say something just nice and easy, like, that is an amazing pipe you got there. Perfect craftsmanship.
Yeah. Yeah, and you see him, he's just like wiping down a table, kind of slow, just taking his time. It's like way off in the corner where it's a lot quieter, and he's kind of like on his own there now, wiping up after all the people that just left their tables, basically. He looks up at you, and he's just like, "Wow, I really appreciate that. That's very nice. Thank you. Not many people talk about or mention the pipe except for it being kind of weird."
Well, I'm all about weird. You could probably see from like the 2-foot person who's got like spider veins.
He's like, yes, you are. He's like, well, what do you want this table? Is that why you came over here?
Actually, I was hoping to ask you a couple of questions.
You see right away his demeanor kind of changes, and he's just like, oh, okay, what would you like to know?
I just got into town and I heard your mayor's missing. And I was seeing if I could help. Do you know anything about this?
You notice, his demeanor changed a little bit. He went from like, wow, thanks, talking about my pipe, and now he's just kind of like a little standoffish. And he's like, well, let me guess. I'm sure you're siding with one of the 2 idiots at the bar, right?
I didn't really listen to them. I went to the bartender, and he said either one could be right, and I just kind of want to get the real story. And he said that you were kind of a friend, so I was hoping that maybe you would kind of know.
And you see
it's
Calypso.
Also a little bit weird you're not in the conversation, either defending or casting away the doubt on your friend.
That's a good point. Okay, so you see Calypso kind of like looks past you at the barkeep who sent him over, and you see the barkeep kind of like wave at him, and he's like smiling, and you see Calypso just kind of like rolls his eyes or whatever. He's just kind of frustrated. He's like, all right, great. If Sabato sent you over, then I suppose we can talk. Yes, I know Arsula. She's a good lady. I grew up with her in Greenfell, and we've reconvened recently, so I'm a bit concerned about her, so don't take my demeanor as anything personal.
Okay.
I guess you did ask her.
Why are you concerned?
Well, she doesn't seem the type that would just quit and leave everyone else on their own to figure things out. So that is concerning to me. I think that maybe she was, I think maybe there's something more to it, but unfortunately I don't know much.
Okay. Can you tell me maybe a little bit about her that makes you think that she wouldn't abandon her people?
Yes. Well, even the truth is she wasn't the happiest person here in her role, but she knows that there's other people, like there's real decisions she has to make here in town, and they affect other people, and she doesn't want to just, I imagine she wouldn't want to just leave everyone just hanging in the balance. So I don't believe that she would just leave. However, I don't know much else about that. And you see, make like a quick insight check.
Okay.
You can tell the check is prompted by the fact that you can tell Calypso is just being weird, not necessarily telling you everything.
Just a regular old fuddy-duddy. 18.
Wow. Okay, that's quite good. All right, so you can tell that he's hiding something.
So he is hiding something.
Seems to be. All right, so you notice as he's kind of like being a little standoffish, he's wearing like this vest thing and then like kind of like a t-shirt under the vest. And you notice that as he's kind of like finishing wiping this table, he stands up and he's like, yeah, I really wish I knew more. And he kind of like looks briefly at his arm. And you see him, he just kind of like shrugs. And as he does like this weird motion where he seems to be like intentionally like pushing his sleeve over a tattoo that he has of like just 2 crossed black daggers. And he's just like, just a tattoo. He's just kind of like seemingly trying to hide that. And he's like, I wish I knew more.
Okay. I might ask him, do you know if anyone might want to hurt her? Has she made any enemies on her way up to becoming mayor?
Well, mayor, in a position like that, there's plenty of people that knows she's got at least more money than a lot of other peasants here. And that's something to fight for, I suppose, or go after her for. But otherwise, she's very nice. You know, she's a nice lady.
Okay. If you had to say anything bad about her, what would it be?
And he kind of just like gets uncomfortable for a second. And he's like, I don't think that I really could. She's a bit of how you say I actually can't think of a term for this. She's has this habit of leading on a lot of men and then kind of just leaving them to be.
Okay.
And he's like, but that's really about it, and that doesn't go too far either.
Okay, all right. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna see if I can't get all this worked up in my noodle. And I'm also an avid journaler too, so you see me just writing down all the like little notes that I got just up in my head down here.
Sounds good.
And I'm gonna try to like take a lap around this bar and see if anyone else has a matching tattoo of the crossing daggers.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Go ahead and make a perception check, I would say.
Perception?
Yes.
Would you... I don't see a perception.
Oh, that's because it's not perception in DC20.
Yeah. Would you prefer
what is it, awareness?
Insight, investigation? Yeah, awareness. I have that one too.
That's what it's supposed to be. My bad.
No, you're good.
You're like, it's not here. Fair enough. Yeah. Awareness is what that's supposed to be.
Okay. Because I rolled actually pretty well. And
Okay.
all I have to do is add 3 to my 17 to get a dirty 20.
Oh, all right. Let's go. All right. So you're going to notice a couple things. One of the first things you notice is basically you're like, I'm going to look around, see if I can find an image of these daggers somewhere else on someone. And like almost right away, you turn and you see a poster on the other side of the room that has like an image that is that same tattoo, just like right on the poster itself. And it's just like a little flyer that someone kind of just like almost just like tacked onto the wall. And basically it was just like a watch out for the black daggers. And it talks about this little faction or like syndicate like thing that's like conspiring, you know, supposedly conspiring assassins and everything else. But like the whole way that it's worded is like super conspiracy theory-esque. Like maybe there's some truth to it, but also like whoever wrote this is like straight up anti-propaganda against this group if it does exist.
Okay.
So that's the first thing you notice. The second thing is you do notice one smaller person at, oh boy. Okay, you notice one smaller person at the bar that's kind of like teaming up, you know, it's one of the people in the back that are in the argument back and forth or whatever. And it is a smaller lady wearing like some just like normal cloth type of like sort of armor, but it's really just like clothes that's styled like armor. Okay. But you notice she's got a couple like jewels and things on her. And you're just getting, I don't know, you're getting some like magic user vibes off of her a little bit. And she's just sitting there, but you notice that one of the necklaces she's wearing has the same cross daggers on the necklace. And it's kind of like, for a moment, it's kind of like tucked away under her shirt a little bit, but she kind of like lunges forward during the argument and you see it kind of pop out and it's just like, you know, that. So you do notice that. And with your high check, I'll say that that's one more thing that you kind of catch a glance of as you're looking around.
Nice. Gonna take a quick look at something real quick.
All right, I'm going to take some notes.
Is it possible to cast spells in a hidden manner?
Depending on the spell, I would say it's definitely like something that you could try. Probably depends on the situation.
I was hoping to drop a fog cloud in the middle of the group and then snatch her necklace.
Interesting. Okay. I would say that it is possible. You could be noticed, and there'd probably just be like a little bit of a, there's a risk of being noticed. I'd say there'd probably be like a DC10 like stealth check situation. If you can pull that off, then you can cast it. But there's like a risk of being caught, and that's if you're like standing not necessarily in the open, but like that's without trying to hide it too hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, another question: if I extend my druid domain in this building, would it be incredibly noticeable? Like,
interesting.
Are all of the squares around me just like turned into grass?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I feel like it would be. Basically everyone that's in there is relatively focused on the argument that's happening. So like it could be noticed, but it wouldn't be obnoxious. It'd be probably the same situation, I guess, where like you could probably just do it and someone might notice, but you could hide it possibly.
Okay. It includes small plant life, sand, shallow water, or other naturally occurring features.
Okay.
Would you maybe say that there's some water or a bunch of dirt on the ground?
Sure. That's interesting too. This is one of those things where it's like when you make the druid domain do you even need something to start with, or could you just do it? You know what I mean? I think it'd be really cool as a druid if you can just like apparate those things, even if you don't need them. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to be like the water bender situation where you have to have water to bend it. Like maybe you could just make it happen.
That would be really cool if like it was a hidden like small line of dandelions like coming out of the floorboards, just like one out of the
that's way more mystical and fun. It's a little more powerful, but you're like the only player technically, so I say we do that. I say that if you wanted to, you don't have to have something to start with for a domain, and you can make it happen.
Nice. Not to interrupt your note taking.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay, cool. That's essentially what I want to start doing. If I can, I'd like to position myself at a table so that way maybe I can get my hands under the table and nobody can really see what I'm doing.
Okay.
But like, sitting at a table eating, looking natural.
Okay.
But I want to expend my druid domain over to that person who I saw with the necklace, which is just going to essentially be in the center of the group.
Okay, yeah. And we'll say I guess here, let me switch over to Roll20 real quick, and I'll try to even I'll try to like draw out, and it should be pretty easy. But I'm going to try to draw out the situation just so you know generally that we're on like the same page of what we're expecting here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Let's start with a blackboard so it's not as bright. Yeah, we'll do that. And then I'll just freehand a little image here. Okay, stand by. This will be quick. All right, so.
Oh, yep. Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, great. So basically, this is kind of what the bar looks like situation, right? Relatively simple.
Definitely.
And okay, so the one possible spellcaster person, magic user person, is on the far left side over here of the bar.
Okay.
And so basically, like, you've got like the two people that are like the two blocks right there in front, and they're just like arguing back and forth. And everyone on like either of their side is kind of, generally with them with their argument. And this lady, she kind of just like leans forward as she's talking and is like, spouts a bit more into the argument. And then you see the necklace kind of like fall out, and it's just kind of like dangling there. But yeah, it's the same exact cross daggers that you saw on the guy's tattoo and on the little poster thing. So now, you said you were going to kind of maybe just like hang out at a table or something, right? And do some of your casting and semantics, like maybe using the table as a bit of cover.
Absolutely. I'd like to start expanding my druid domain to the bar, more or less even using the wood on the bar as like the organic material necessary to grow things on.
Okay, cool. Okay, so this will be fun. I'm going to bring the DC down since you are using the table as a bit of cover. So it's going to be real low DC. I just need a stealth check of like 7. All right.
Okay.
To see if anyone even notices before you actually are able to use it.
Stealth is a 0. Straight roll. 11.
All right, cool. So you do notice that you can get away with it. It's like the last bit of the casting to actually, progress your domain out. And you can get away with it. So you kind of spread your domain over towards the bar, even to the point of like reaching her. Is that your goal?
Yeah, pretty much. My druid domain, I can cast spells from my druid domain as if I was
Yes.
standing in that location. So essentially what's going to happen, right, is just out from underneath the bar somehow, just a bunch of smoke and fog just starts piling out and just, it's going to just break up the group as much as it can, start a distraction. And once I see, them getting a little bit antsy and not really wanting to, be in the smoke, I'm gonna snatch their necklace by some means.
Okay. Very fun and interesting. Okay, so let's see here. Okay. All right. So this lady that you're attempting to steal the necklace from, or whatever, this lady she's got like, more delicate features, I guess you could say. Bright blue eyes, a bit of a nose ring. And her nose ring's got like a little skull on it. But basically, as soon as the fog is noticed, like some people kind of stop the arguing or whatever, and they're like, Gerbalda, come on. And the barkeep's just like, oh, hey, you guys know better. No casting in the bar. And then they're just like, she's like, it wasn't me. I'm not doing this. But really quickly at this point, like fog is completely like encompassing their whole area by the time that she's done defending herself. And so everyone's kind of like flustered, and most of them stand up and start walking away from the bar. And you're just kind of like sitting at the table, no big deal. And they're just, most of them you see are trying to like pour out of the room for the most part, not really understanding what's going on.
I would have been making my way towards the fog as everyone was making their way away from it.
Okay. So kind of like the same fluid motion. They're leaving, you're going towards it. And basically right about the time that this Gerbalda character that you were pursuing stands up, she's kind of the last to leave the crowd, and she's like, you guys, I swear it wasn't me. I know better. Like, I don't want to start stuff with Sabato. Okay. And like right about that time, you're about to like brush shoulders with her, and she's at the back of the crowd. You're in the fog. And like at this point, all of you lose sight of each other, but you know that she's like right there next to you. So what now?
I want to try my best to, without her knowing that it's me, obviously, just grab the necklace. Hopefully it's not like an extremely strong chain or anything. Just like, break it right off. And if I need some help doing so, I might even use like a vine from my druid domain.
Okay, cool. All right. Very, very clever. I like it. Okay, so we'll do this. Let's do a go ahead and make a might check to but go ahead and make it with advantage, as I will say that you've got the smoke covering you, and we'll say that you actually do manage to kind of get a vine from your domain to like almost grab the back of the necklace before you lose sight of her, to like kind of give you some guidance. So might check with advantage.
I got a 19 and I got a 1.
All right. That's fun. Okay, cool. So basically as soon as you lose sight of her is like the exact moment that you know that a vine from your domain kind of like grabs the back of her necklace and kind of like pulls it up, and you quickly just like, you kind of like bump into her a little bit, and no one can tell that it's you at this point. It's like, it's just a mess of bodies, and she doesn't even notice it, honestly. And you are able to completely pull the necklace off of her. And then you hear her actually call out to someone else there, and she's like, hey, watch it. Come on. We're all trying to leave, whatever. And everyone leaves the cloud.
I'll also try to make my exit out of the building at the same time. I don't want to be the only one left standing there. Fair enough.
So the last person out, you kind of like notice that they follow you out, is the barkeep Sabato. And so you all kind of leave right in front of you. Calypso manages to get right in front of you. So you're kind of sandwiched between Calypso and Sabato, the two owners or workers at least. And then you're the last ones to leave. So you go out of the tavern, and everyone's just kind of standing there, and they still they start arguing back up, but now about like, whatever. They're just like arguing like, what the heck was that? What's going on? They're all kind of like blaming each other. What's going on? So yeah, now what?
Okay. After I go outside, I want to just take a quick look around, see if anyone didn't go outside. Is it the same number of people outside that was inside?
I gotcha. It seems like everyone that was in there did leave.
Nice. And after we left the building, I would absolutely drop the spell. I wouldn't want it around for too long.
Okay. So once you leave, the fog slowly dissipates and your domain dissipates as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all the evidence at this point, everything that you did is like, it's gone. Okay.
Yes. And as I move away from spaces that were my domain, they fade away as well.
Oh, okay. So that would have been fading as you're leaving anyway. Okay.
Yeah. I think I get maybe 15 squares away and then it stops.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. So right about the time you're walking out the door, your domain's vanishing anyway. Okay, cool. So, so you're all there now. And basically everyone's just kind of confused. You have the necklace with you. You kind of pocketed it or whatever else.
Yep. I kind of want to like interrogate that girl a little bit who I stole the necklace from.
Okay.
I just want to be like, why did everybody blame you? Did you do that? You know?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. That sounds good. She's annoyed. And she's basically just like, well, yeah, obviously they always blame me. She's just like, they know I've been studying magic. I come from a family that studies magic, but well, they're all dead. So now it's just me and I'm trying to carry on they all know. So they just know I'm a caster and that's why I imagine, but it wasn't me.
Okay. I was going to assume it was because you were small, but I guess it was because that.
Yeah. She's just like, I'm not that small for what is it? Yeah, okay. She's like, I'm not that small. I'm like 4'10".
And like a quick measurement between the two of us would be like an inch taller than me.
You're small. Yeah. So she's just like, you're one to talk. You're actually small. What do you mean? But yeah, anyway.
And then I'll definitely be like, well, what kind of magic do you do?
Well, just little stuff. Like I can do this, and she uses what would be kind of, I guess I don't know what magic you know, but basically she's just using like the sorcery cantrip, and she makes just like a little fire tornado kind of in her hand for a second. She's like, check this out. It's like, this is one of the first things I learned, and there's a lot you can do with it, but I'm still trying to figure it out.
That's so cool. Okay, so you definitely didn't make the gas. You make fire.
Yeah, exactly. See, you get it, obviously. And then, some of the other people that were there in the group kind of chime in. They're just like, Gerbalda, see, she's casting right now. We knew it was her. And she's like, does this look like a fog cloud to you? Just bickering back and forth.
Man, I really want to like find a way to like leave with Gerbalda or like follow her if she's about to leave. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where is she going? Because it feels like there might be more to this.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll say that she progresses the conversation a bit further, and she's just like, "You look really weird, by the way. Has anyone ever told you that?"
Yeah, I'm not from around here.
Yeah, that's pretty clear. You know what? Roll a charisma check.
Okay.
It's a flat charisma, or what is influence? Roll an influence check.
Ooh, okay, even better. But it's not that great with an 8.
8. Okay. So she kind of like looks you up and down for a second, and you feel like she's literally like sizing you up. Like, this person looks weird. Are they kind of hot? And then she's like, no, I don't think so.
Every time.
Yeah. And basically she's just like, yeah, okay, well, I guess I'll leave. And she just walks away.
I'll say bye, and then like do the awkward wave where it's like,
and she's just like, all right, bye, weirdo. And just kind of keeps going on her way. As she's going on her way, you see that she very clearly stops at another nearby building. She just like walks like straight down the road and then to another nearby seemingly shop of some kind.
Oh, okay. I was going to laugh if it was just straight to the bar across the street.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, let's say you could take a couple steps to like see where she went exactly, and you see like a big pair of shears on a sign that's kind of like, this like shop of sorts. So it looks like basically just like a big pair of scissors, and that is the sign.
Okay, so I guess I'll camp outside of scissors and see if there's gonna be any movement, and I kind of want to like go behind an alley or something and just check out this amulet that I just got.
Okay, interesting. All right, so you actually go to the shop, and it looks like a little salon of sorts. It actually has a sign that says Isadora's Styles. And it's like in parentheses, it literally says salon. And you notice, you kind of like, you see that she walks in there. It's like a glass front, almost like a classic barbershop situation. And you see that she sits down and is immediately greeted with a older lady. And, they talk back and forth like they're obviously friends or whatever. But it seems like she's just sitting down and talking to her stylist.
Okay. As she's going through her hair appointment, what's up with that black dagger necklace?
So the necklace, good question. Let's see here. This is fun. I've got so many tabs open on Hexroll. It's like infinite information. I don't have to think of any of it, but it's all pretty cool. Okay, so let's see. Stand by. So on the necklace itself, there is what would be a fun thing of being found with this whole situation. All right, so there is a name. Okay, we'll say on the back of the daggers, there's one thing that stands out, and it is a name of someone. The name is Lothgar, and that is all that's on the necklace. It's just a name.
Lothgar.
Does
it seem like a family name? Is that a first name or a last name?
It seems like a first name. Could be either, but it's probably more commonly a first name in this world.
Okay. Is there anything like inherently magical about it?
Not obviously, no. It seems that it's just like the same exact image that was tattooed on Calypso and on the poster. But the name itself is just a name carved in the back of the daggers.
Is there a way I could look around town if any of the buildings have that black dagger mark, or possibly even take the note back from the bar and see who the narrator of the note was?
Ooh, okay, yeah. Interesting, yeah. What do you want to do first? What do you want to pursue? I would say looking around town would probably take a second, not necessarily in real life, but in game.
I figure while I'm here, I should probably just double back, grab the note since it's probably a couple steps away.
Yep, but not far.
Just take a look around town, especially if there's a name I should be looking for while I'm looking around on the note. I'm going to take that first. Okay,
cool. Sounds fun. All right, so All right. So you go back to the tavern, and as you, there's some that are still outside, and you notice that there's others that are kind of filtering back in at this point. Now that all the spells you did are gone, and they still don't know what happened. They're like, "What's going on?" Oh, whoops, hold on. I didn't realize that I have a menu open on Roll20 that whole time. Oh well. Okay, so yeah, some of them have already kind of come back in. So when you go in, interestingly, you notice Calypso again in there, and he's just kind of standing around, and he looks like he's just standing there, but he's investigating. You know what I mean? He's analyzing the room and is just kind of looking things over, and he seems just kind of suspiciously that was a weird thing that just happened, But then you see over on the wall where you noticed it before, that same poster with the daggers is still there.
Nice. I'll grab the poster and see if Calypso sees me seeing it.
Okay. I'd say right about the time you're walking towards the poster, you kind of glance over at Calypso, and he's checking things out, and he's definitely looking at you. You are an oddball out at this point. And he's like, that was weird. Never seen that person before. Still kind of strange. So you could reach for it. He will see you grab it. Whether that matters or not, I don't know. But
I'm just gonna grab it.
Okay, sounds good.
Just grab the note, rip it down a little bit. Maybe it's the only one there, and take it with me.
Okay, yeah. I'd say that's exactly how it goes. No one bothers you. It's pretty simple. You're able to go in, even though you see Calypso checking things out. You are able to just grab the note and take it and be on your way.
Nice. Is there a narrator of the note?
Yes, let's see here. Very interesting. Okay, yes. I will say there's a bunch of just rambling on the thing, really. But there's one thing at the end that's if interested for the truth, seek out Aurelianus of Greenfell here in town.
Okay. Another person of Greenfell who's got a connection to the Black Daggers.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll have to go around looking for this dude. I'm assuming dude. Did it say where? Or is it just you know me?
Aurelianus of Greenfell. Let's see. Yeah.
Is there a directory at Town Hall?
We'll make it simple. There is. Okay, so yeah, we'll make it simple. We'll say that it says Aurelianus of Greenfell, and then it also says it's comma, and it's the town witch.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
it's a little more obvious as to this person being known, at least. There may even be a specific, that like some towns have specific buildings that are like the alchemist or, whatever. So you think she might even have like a shop here in town making a living of being a witch.
nice. I guess I'll look around for the weirdest building in town.
All right. Before long, you notice that there is a a shop that is like literally there's a sign on the front. It looks kind of spooky on the outside too. So you're like, okay, this seems good. But there's a little sign that says Aurelianus the Witch.
Heck yeah. And a little bit of headcanon. For some reason, I still think witches, shamans, and druids all beef for some reason. So I'm almost expecting her to me and her to walk in and be like, oh, you're doing this way?
That's really funny. Well, you might be right. So you going right in? It does seem to be a shop intentionally. Yeah. So it's like, a public space or whatever.
Yeah, I would probably walk on in.
Okay.
Try to look like I know what I'm doing by being there.
All right, classic. So let's see, what would be witchy? So you kind of she's got this big draped, almost like curtain instead of a door, okay? It's got like a bunch of, it's just like this weird tapestry type of thing situation going on. And as you push your way through it, there's like a string of bells that ring at the top of the curtain as it's opening. And you are hit so fast with the scent of just so many crazy incense burning and aromas just smash into your nostrils violently.
I know the smell of patchouli when I see it.
Exactly. Absolutely. So yeah, and the bells ring and you're just assaulted. Then you kind of look around and you see kind of the same situation. It's one room with a counter. And then on the other side of that, there's one more door that has the same tapestry. Okay. And you hear from the other side, oh, welcome. Hi, it's good to have a customer finally. And then you see this witch lady kind of open up the curtain there on the other side. And it is the person that brushed past you in the tavern when you first walked in.
Okay, so they're small too.
Yes, they are small. And for the first time, you actually make eye contact with this person. And immediately, this is the person that cursed the vine.
Really?
Yeah. And it seems like she knows you too. As soon as you guys meet eyes, it's oh, I see.
I don't think I'll even say anything. I'm just gonna walk up to the counter and slap the vine down on the counter, like it's still alive, chained up. What's up? What's going on?
All right, now it's your call, but I think that could be a fun place to end this session and see how that goes in the next session.
That makes sense to me.
All right. Very cool.
Man,
all right.
I did not see that coming, man.
It is wild. I wish there was some way for me to document how this is going. I guess we didn't say it in this episode, but yeah, if you guys are just tuning in on this episode, this whole thing is randomly generated with the website Hexroll, and we'll put a link in the description for that too. But it's really interesting. I'm not planning any of this, so we're just kind of using that and doing it all on the fly and going largely based on whatever your character's doing, whatever. And so that's all we've been doing, and it's fun. It's really cool.
It is.
I recommend it, honestly. But anyway, yeah, cool. So this was the second episode. That's fun. I think I'm excited to keep playing this and see where it goes.
Absolutely. And honestly, I'm glad that my newest frenemy is a witch.
Yeah, this will be interesting. I'm excited to see where this goes now. It's no longer just metaphorical magic eye contact. It's the real deal.
Thanks so much for checking out the video, everybody, and thanks so much for sticking around until the end. If you've got any suggestions for how we should shape this story in the future, please leave it down below. But until next time, everybody, we'll see you all later.
See ya.